Hi guys, Mike here from KS Bushcraft Down Under. So we retreated indoors. It's a nice fine day outside, so the flying schools dive bombing me every 6 minutes. This is the Yeti V series. This is their premium cooler, sort of with retro styling. So unlike the Tundras, if you're going whitewater rafting or knocking it around, you want a Tundra. You don't want this. So it looks old school, but inside it's got vacuum insulated panels along with polyurethane foam. So the walls on this are about 40mm thick, so significantly thinner than the Tundra's walls. But hopefully with that combination it should really be a stellar performer, though we haven't tested that yet. So on the outside is 63cm by 42.4 by 44.2. On the inside it's 49.5 width, 30.5 depth and 35.6 height. So if I do a volume calculation, it's 53.7 litres, so call it 54 litres. It weighs 15.6 kilograms, so it is a solid lift. Now it's got solid handles and catches, which is really nice. 5-year warranty. Now it is not dry ice compatible, just like the drinkware. They say not to put that in the freezer. And they say no dry ice in this. So if you want to use dry ice, you can go for a Tundra. Now it's rated for 50 Australian cans, which are about 365ml in general. Now all I could find on the Australian website, it says it's kitchen grade stainless steel, which could mean anything. Now on the Canadian website I found it's 18/10 stainless steel. The regular drinkware is 18/8. So the 10's got 2% more chromium. Okay. Now it is rated to be stood on or sat on for 300 US pounds. And I think the combination of the stainless steel skin, that'll stop light passing through, because the three forms of heat transfer are conduction, convection and radiation. So radiation as in light. A cheap cooler, the light can pass through it. So that's one plus side for that. So we'll have a look at the finer details, then I will eventually do an ice retention test, and we'll see how that performs. Right, there is no messing around with this catch. So it's got hex heads, which is a step up from Phillips head. I mean, if you wanted to make it more secure, you can actually change these to some form of security bit. So with a very satisfying snap. So rear hinges look really solid as well. Combination of cast aluminium and stainless. Now I did look up, there are spare parts for this. So it's got nice solid handles that are stiff enough that they won't flop around in the car, and even with someone like myself with man paws, there's plenty of room to get your hands on it, because loaded up this is going to be a solid lift. So it's got a full gasket seal. Now it's been a bit hit and miss with some of my Tundras how good this is, but it's also got a bump here which will go a long way to stopping liquids from falling out. Now I notice there's two cutouts here. They may be concerned that this is going to go into vacuum lock. Now my big Pelican cooler certainly does that. If you open and close it quickly, you've got a fight of your life. You've got to crack the drain plug out to get the lid open. So I assume that's why they put those two notches there. So it looks a pretty good job. So she's certainly a pretty fancy looking drain plug with the stainless steel finish. It's a good size to get hold of. And it's got a tapered seal on it. It's got two on it, so there's an inner and an outer seal. So we'll test that later. So it's got the same feet as the Tundras, so these have been really durable, sort of non-marking and a slightly really good grippy. And if you're going to make something to secure this down, they're pretty handy. I've made a little cart for one of these before, not a V series, one of the smaller ones, but fit and finish, she's pretty good, guys. So if you're buying it as a gift, it does come in a nice presentation box. And there was a shipping box over the top of this as well. It comes with your owner's kit if you like your stickers and stuff. And it also comes with an embossed dust cover. So if you're worried about dust or scratches or stuff like that. Now you can't open the cooler with it in place. I think they might have sprung for a zip. So you could leave the cover on and open the lid, but you have to pull it off. Right guys, I'll test the drain plug. It's finger tight. Got a bucket of water. So that's giving it about that much inside. So I'll give that 15 minutes and I'll come back and I'll check for a leak. Then we'll test the seal. Alright, that's 15 minutes. Put a piece of paper under here, make sure there's no drips, and it's nice and dry. So drain plug is good. Alright, we'll test the seal. So I've got about 10 litres of water in here. No trickery. Well, it's certainly a pass from some of them. Oh, that's a huge improvement over my original roadie. The only drips that are there came off my hands when I was shaking it. So I think that's a 2 thumbs up on the seal. I'll give it a couple of minutes and I'll check with the paper. Right guys, that's 10 minutes and there's absolutely no leakage on that seal. So a few conspiracy theories, guys. There she is. Right guys, we should do an ice retention test. I was debating whether I should use block ice, regular party ice. So this guy's been catching some sun at the moment. So it's about 32 degrees inside, so she's pretty warm. If I was going on a camping trip, I'd pre-chill the cooler and use block ice. But I think I might just get 3 party bags. Right guys, so I've got 3 bags of 5 kilos a bag. And that was $10 from my local store. I think that's a pretty reasonable test. So there's plenty of room there left for drinks and stuff. So we'll box this up and we'll see how it goes overnight. Alright guys, that's 23 hours. I've got to go out in a bit, so still nice and dry and crunchy. Got a few drinks in, otherwise I'll make the most of it. So tomorrow will be 48 hours and I might drain some of the water off tomorrow. Right guys, that's been a bit more than 48 hours. So ice is starting to feel a little wet. It was nice and crunchy yesterday. Still plenty of it there. What I might do is hit the drain plug and see how much water comes out. I might tip that back in. Right guys, not that much. I might measure that and put it back in. And we'll come back tomorrow. Right guys, that's been 3 days. Yesterday I drained off 2 litres and 10 mil. So 2010 millilitres of cold water, which I put back into the cooler, and I'll do the same today. Still a lot of ice. It's a little bit wet. So I'll drain off the water, I'll measure it, and we'll come back tomorrow. Okay guys, end of day 4 and a bit. I'm late home, it's almost dark, so I'll have a quick look inside, see how she's holding up. So still a ton of ice, and yesterday when I measured it out, we'd had 4 litres of melt, so I won't bother with that today, and I'll do that again tomorrow. Right guys, that's been 3 days. Yesterday I drained off 2 litres and 10 mil. So 2010 millilitres of cold water, which I put back into the cooler, and I'll do the same today. So, still a lot of ice, it's a little bit wet, so I'll drain off the water, I'll measure it, and we'll come back tomorrow. Right guys, day 5 and about 3 hours. So we're getting about 2 litres of ice melt per day on average. So there's 5 full days. Right guys, so I'm going to drain off the water. And from memory this container is about an 8 litre container. So it should just about fill this container. Actually, not as much as I thought. So what I'll do, I'll go and weigh this, then we'll know. I'll put this cold water back in. Okay guys, this is day 6 plus a couple of hours. So we're getting a little bit more melt. Yesterday I measured the water that came out at 6 litres. So half of the ice is being consumed in that period of time. So there's still a ton of ice in the bottom, so we can clearly see the water now. So we're on the homeward stretch for the ice retention. Okay guys, storm's just blown in here. So this is 7 days, this is a week. Huge box of ice. So I'll drain off the water, measure it again. That's it with the water drain, and that's the water in the container. Well guys, that's day 8. So there's still some decent chunks of ice. What I'm going to do today, instead of measuring the water, I'm going to fish out the ice and weigh that. Now yesterday we had 7.5 litres of melt on the original 15 kilos of ice we put in. So we'll measure the ice today. Righto guys, it's day 11. Had a quick glance in there earlier and there's a tiny bit of ice left. So, about 30 degrees today. That's the light ice that's left. Pretty much a bathtub in there. Righto guys, let's do a summary. This is an expensive cooler. Now, on 3 bags of party ice, it went 11 days. Now, I've got other top-end coolers that'll do 9 days on block ice. So, it is a high-performance unit. It's the same price as a car fridge, but a car fridge needs a battery pack. It needs a DC to DC charger, and probably solar panels. My car fridge will run on that blue battery pack for 2 days, and it'll take most of a day to recharge. So it needs solar panels on it from the first day, really. So this is a set and forget, and there's nothing really to go wrong with it. Yeah, one electrical connection or one gremlin can stop a car fridge pretty quick. The advantage a car fridge has, of course, is you can keep stuff warm and chill it down. Whereas in your cooler, every time you put something warm in, it'll gobble through the ice. So that is the downside. But I mean, the space taken up by that fridge, if you allow for my car fridge and the battery pack, it's far more compact and half the weight. So guys, if this type of content helps you make the right decision, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.